I believe that childcare is the most important job in the world. If you think about the fact that parents are giving what is most valuable to them into the care of somebody who is, to all intents and purposes, a complete stranger, you can't really have any greater trust or give anybody any greater responsibility. The first experience I ever had working in childcare was as a volunteer. When I started training, you had to work for a year before you would be accepted onto any college course. And I worked in a creche in rural Wexford for children with behavioural problems. And the child that struck me the most when I was there was a little girl, I'm going to call her Maggie. And Maggie was the most beautiful, sweetest natured kid you could ever come across. I was only 18 at the time, so my experience of working with kids was very, very new. But it struck me that one of the staff that was there, particularly on a Friday, used to try and get as much food into Maggie as she possibly could. We gave the kids breakfast, lunch and dinner, but one of the staff would consistently try and feed Maggie up every Friday. And on the third Friday that I was there, I said to her, why? Why do you keep trying to cram this poor kid full of food? She's stuffed, she doesn't need any more. And she pulled me aside and said, look, when she walks out of here on a Friday evening, the last bit of food that we would have given her is probably the last bit of decent food she will get before she comes back in again on Monday. And that just left me reeling. It had never even occurred to me. I was an Aegis, I had no experience. We don't always, and we haven't always had a proud history of childcare in Ireland. The Irish childcare profession comes from something which we all know from all of the scandals and all of the investigations hasn't always been good. But my experience of working for more than 2 decades now in the area is that we have some really, really great people working in the area now at all levels, from early years right the way up to the juvenile detention centres that my colleagues will be talking about, and I've worked in them too. And it's bloody tough, but there's some great people working there. What we've got in this document before us today, and what we've heard Richard talking about in his fantastic presentation, is it's no-brainer stuff. And it is completely apolitical. This is something that politicians shouldn't even be debating. This is something that needs to happen. People have said that ReNua is very vague and very aspirational. I would stand and say, absolutely we're aspirational. I'm an idealist. When it comes to children, the best is the only thing that's good enough. This is something that's ongoing. Childcare has been consistently bumped to the bottom of the agenda. We have to shove it right back up to the top. It deserves to be there.